Hello, today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different. Quite a lot of my clients ask me a bit more about my own product business, and which has led me then into learning everything about Amazon. So I've decided to do a little bit of a live today that I'm going to put on the post about my own brand and where it started, just as an interest, just as a background thing, just to let you know that I do have an actual viable business that I sell on Amazon. Okay, so I'll start. So first of all, prior to my soft toy business, which is what I do now, and we're talking, 15, 20 years ago, my first business was a natural cosmetics company. It was really small scale. I spent most of my 20s traveling while I built this business. And back then the internet wasn't really the thing it is today. So that was quite challenging. But anyway, I built that up to a certain point that kind of flukily, I got approached by an American company who wanted to buy it. It was completely random, completely out there. But anyway, very long story short, I'll go into details about that another time, but very long story short, I sold that company, then had kids, and then my entrepreneurial brain needed something else to do. So where the astronaut started from is I had some drawings done. I'll show you now. This is the first one. This is my astronaut. He's a digital drawing, as you can see, and I had him drawn up randomly. Don't ask me why. I love all things space, so that's probably why. Ideas were starting to form, didn't really know what to do with it, didn't really see much of a profit margin in selling prints of that, which actually I have done before, but anyway, that wasn't the business. And it was my husband, Mark, that said, I think they'd look great as a soft toy. Why don't you start looking at it as a soft toy? So that's exactly what I did. And so we started researching where and how, just for those, I can turn him into him. Now, it was a long process, a really long process back then to get this all started. But we found a factory in China and we produced this guy. So that's where it all started. Then I started selling on my own really rubbish website that I made myself. It was a bit pathetic, but anyway, it worked, it did the job. And we're talking 10 years ago, so bear with me. So yeah, that was kind of what we did. We sourced it, got samples made, and by the way, the first few samples were terrible. Took a while to find the manufacturer that we used there. There's a lot of criteria that I insist on with a manufacturer, especially overseas. Obviously, treatment of staff, fair wages, all that kind of thing had to be spot on. So it took a long time to find that. And then all the samples had to be perfect and all the things that you do. We found a manufacturer, the one that we still use today. It's a really small one, but they're very nice people. So yeah, we went from there. So anyway, back to the website. Set up the website, started selling. I think I actually started firstly selling on eBay, which I don't really advise. Don't really advise eBay for certain things. Certain things it's brilliant, but not everything. Anyway, started selling on eBay. Then Etsy came along, dabbled on Etsy, and sales were good. They were really good. They kind of came in slowly. Everything was building really slowly. And it was good because it validated my business and my product. It actually validated him. He was the first one that sold. So I thought, okay, that's good, I'm onto something. But then I got to the point where I kind of realised that the volume wasn't enough. Like, I have to buy these in quite high volumes. We're talking thousands. Because they're coming from overseas, you have to buy quite big order quantities. And with Etsy and the website, the momentum just wasn't building enough. I knew that I wanted to sell internationally as well. So I think, again, it was probably Mark, my husband, that said, why don't you look at Amazon? So I looked at Amazon, thought, no, this is just not for me. It's for big brands. It's not for brands like me. So kind of dismissed it, put it to one side and ploughed on, as you do with the, sales as they're coming in, dribs and drabs. And then I was getting to the end of my tether, to be honest. I thought, right, okay, I'm going to try Amazon. So I looked into it, researched everything, thought, actually, okay, I'll give this a shot. So that's what I did. That's how the whole Amazon thing started. So from there, again, a very long story short, over the years, perfected Amazon, worked out how to do everything. Again, that took ages to learn everything that I needed to learn, hence why I've made a course for you, because I know the struggle that I went through to get to do it all. Amazon's a very, very fickle system. It's glitchy, there's a load of back-end stuff to do. There's loads of elements of it that are very complex that took me probably 2 or 3 years to perfect myself. Anyway, as usual, I digress. So anyway, went on, and so this guy was the first guy. Then because of the Amazon sales, we were then able to develop another one, another colourway, and then it just kind of went on from there. And then he's still in his packaging, we've got an orange one, and now we've got all the different variations of colours that we use. And it's also enabled me to sort of dabble in new ideas, like we've got a little footballer here, it comes in blue for whoever supports whoever. The superhero, he's really popular, even though he's not space themed. He's so cute and so popular that he kind of just sits in the range just because people really like him. And funnily enough, with the superhero, I probably get the most reviews and comments about this guy saying that he looks like the child he's intended for, which, I mean, that's a bit weird, isn't it? But I've had so many comments about that. People saying, oh, he looks just like so-and-so, my nephew or whoever it is, or my niece who I've bought it for, a small child, which... So anyway, he stays in the kind of collection, even though he's not. And anyway, I've dabbled in loads of different things. This one, he always makes me laugh because we've got a lot of farmer friends around where we live, and there's a huge market for farming toys. If you've had or got small children, you'll know what I mean. And so I tried to make a farmer. He kind of started off as a pirate, but then he turned into a farmer, and I tried to put a beard on him. Sorry. So he's still a prototype, I'm afraid. He's not in. And then our latest model that came in last year is this guy. So he's pretty accurate actually for the continents. We got that pretty well. So he is the Earth ball. Now this is a new one, so he's a bit stiff. But what he does is he turns inside out to become the moon. So he's a bit out of shape. He's been in a box. But anyway, that's the kind of general idea of him. This is really popular. He's turned into one of the best sellers. So yeah, I just wanted to show everybody really what it is I do, because I get asked a lot like, oh yeah, you sell on Amazon, but you talk about your business, but what actually is the business? So that is the business. So I've got this and this and this. Not this yet, but and superhero, he has to have another mention because he's really popular, and this. So yeah, that's basically it, and it all stemmed from these illustrations. I've got my superhero actually without a mask on, so my illustrations here, and then it turned, I've just found another one. A mermaid, she might come into effect at some point, but mermaids, they're quite saturated, that market. Space is saturated, soft toys are saturated, which actually just goes to show what you can actually achieve, because I picked, unbeknownst to me 10 years ago, I picked probably the most saturated market ever. But it just goes to show that if you brand everything, you can definitely get in there, like clothing, candles. Yes, there's loads of brands, but there is always room for yours as well. That's one thing that I do say. So yeah, mermaid, she might come on the scene at some point. Who else have I got here? This is quite interesting actually, looking back at everything. And then I had some really beautiful illustrations made just for my own, because they're beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically what today's little chat is about. Just to let you know that you can start off with a completely random idea, or not have an idea yet and build it, or you can take what you've already got, your branding that you've already got, and run with it. And obviously I talk about Amazon because that's what's worked for me. It's allowed me, as I say all the time, it's allowed me to sell internationally, 15 countries at the moment, which is brilliant. But it took a long time to build. I don't advocate anybody sort of saying you can make a fortune overnight. It's just not. It's not a thing. for most of us anyway. So yeah, again, saturated market, don't worry about it, just you concentrate on your thing. I never really look at my competition. It depresses me a little bit sometimes when I look at all the soft toys. They're so beautiful and I love soft toys, I always have. But I look at them and think, oh gosh, I should be doing that, I should be doing that. And then, but you've got to kind of keep your blinkers on and keep focused on what you're doing. Again, yeah, Amazon has worked brilliantly for my brand. And I wanted to show you my brand, basically to show you, I think it's quite important, isn't it, when you're learning from somebody else to see what their journey has been. Because personally, I want to learn from someone who I've actively seen doing what I want to actually achieve. So yeah, that's kind of the point of this. So right, that's it. I'm going to get on because I've got the boiler man coming this morning. So yeah, have a lovely day and I will speak to you soon.